Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am having an issue here. But anyway, um so in today's video I am going to go through the synopsis of the upcoming episodes, and this article also has some information about the past episodes. So I'll probably also read that. And yeah, so let's get into it. So it's Riverdale Season 5 premiere dates, episode titles, cast, and more. Riverdale is back. After the CW series was one of the first to halt production due to COVID-19, it finally kicked off pre-production in Vancouver on Season 5 as of August 17th. Production on everyone's favorite teen murder show kicked off on September 14th, and Season 5 itself finally premiered on January 20th, 2021 at 8/7 Central or January 21st if you're watching on Netflix internationally. But once pre-pro stated, it meant the long, dry spell since production stopped on March 12th was finally over. Technically, the break was been a little shorter than that. Season 4 wrapped up earlier than expected with the Machin Amick directed default finale, Killing Mr. Honey, on May 6th. But still, it's a long time to be away from Archie, Jughead, Betty, Veronica, and of course, Dr. Curdle Jr. I really hope they keep that character. He's a cat. He's hilarious. Actually, joking aside, the cast are all back for Season 5, including Skeet Ulrich's F.P. Jones and Marisol Nichols' Hermione Lodge, both of whom will be preparing to depart at the end of Season 4. Given the timing shake-up, they return to round out the season's first 3 episodes. And with neither FP nor Hermione getting killed off, expect them to also return in guest or recurring capacities as the series goes forward. Now, before I move on, with that being said, Marisol Nichols has said that she's been demoted to recurring cast member after the first 3 episodes. They were both still main cast members in the first 3, but then after the first 3, they're dropped. Marisol is going to continue to recur throughout the series, while Skeet Ulrich has actually said that he will not be coming back for a while. So he's completely leaving the show. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I really hope he comes back. I really hope Jellybean comes back, even though they're gonna have to recast her. Even though I really like Trinity Lakin, I think is her name. But anyway. Also returning is Vanessa Morgan, who is currently pregnant and expecting to give birth extremely soon. Plus, even more cast members are joining, including Drew Ray Tanner as Fank Fogarty, who has been upped to main cast, and Aaron Westbrook, who will be introduced as Tabitha Tate. So what can we expect from Season 5? First, the series needs to wrap up the big mystery from Season 4 and all the relationship fallout from Betty and Archie's illicit kiss. Plus, there's that whole pesky high school graduation thing to deal with. Once that's in the rearview mirror, though, Riverdale is jumping 7 years ahead to show what happens to our now young adults after high school. With all that in mind, let's get into what we know about the upcoming episodes. And as a note, this is A, confirmed information with a light dash of rumors and speculation, and B, will be updated throughout the season. So, let's see. Riverdale Season 5, Episode 1, Chapter 77, Climax, air date January 20, 2021. Since this episode has already aired, check out our coverage on it, including some thoughts on the premiere's Choni storyline and some speculation about the identity of the auteur. The original text follows. Initially titled Stand to Reason, thanks to Riveto Aguirre Sarcastic's Instagram, we now know the episode is explosively titled Climax. We also know it's written by Ace Assen and Greg Murray and directed by Pamela Romankovsky. Hassan's previous writing credits on the show include The Raid and The Great Escape, where Murray co-wrote both of those episodes as well as The Wrestler. Romanofsky previously directed The Raid and The Great Escape, as well as Fast Times at Riverdale High and 2 episodes of Katie Keene. Depending on where you look, anywhere from 2/3 to 80% of Chapter 77, aka the senior prime episode, was already filmed before the shutdown, meaning that's what was tackled first once everyone returned to set. And there are a bunch of things that have already been teased about the episode, with Archie and Betty seemingly putting whatever feelings they have for each other behind them. You expect the show to move on. Instead, it leads to an epic blow between Veronica and Archie. centered around the song Carry the Torch. He wrote for Betty. Meanwhile, Betty and Jughead are grappling with their own issues, and Cheryl meets Tony's family. You can read a lot more on what to expect here, but basically, what was episode 20 should be filled with a load of relationship drama. Plus, K.O. Kelly saw 5 from the cancer Katie Keene to punch Archie in the face and even attend the prom. Did he attend the prom? I don't remember that. But anyway, so the thing about Katie Keene is that Riverdale wanted to connect Katie Keene and Riverdale together better because, as we know, the first spin-off of Riverdale, Sabrina, could never be connected to Riverdale because it was a Netflix show, and well, it was witches. Do we really want to add witches to Riverdale? But with Katie Keene was on a broadcast network. It's on the CW as well. And with season 5, they had already revealed that they were going to do a time jump. So they were like, well, let's connect Katie Keene. After they had KO guest star, Katie Keene was canceled. So they said that they still want to do some crossover, so we can expect to see Lucy KO stop by. I mean, Veronica is in New York, so we'll see. That is, if the scripts haven't changed since the pandemic hit, a lot of work has been done behind the scenes at Riverdale, including breaking down season 5 and rethinking how the time jump, more on that in episode 3, will work, given it's coming mid-season versus as a cliffhanger. There's also the matter of Vanessa Morgan, who's pushed to pay parody. There's also the matter of Vanessa Morgan, who's pushed for pay parody and equal screen time, led to an apology from showrunner Roberto Aguirre-Sacasta and a promise that the series will do better going forward. Yes, so Vanessa Morgan, who plays Tony, wrote a message saying she hates how Black women are always seen as sidekicks. I don't actually remember the exact nature of the letter, but that was the gist of what she wrote, and how she wanted more screen time. So Roberto Aguirre-Sacasta messaged her and said, yes, you're completely right. We should fix Tony. And that is one of the reasons why, following the time jump, Tony has a bigger role in the show. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Vanessa Morgan, but I hope she doesn't take screen time away from Buckhead and Archie. Like, she had a lot more screen time, I believe, since she became a main cast member, but it was always with Cheryl. Who, Madeleine Petsch, also didn't have much screen time compared to Buckhead and Archie. But I love Vanessa Morgan. She's an amazing actress. And I love Tony, but I love Buckhead. So. Oh, and also there's the whole pandemic thing. Despite having cast and crew quarantined for 14 days in Vancouver before hitting set, every production, including Riverdale, is rethinking how they handle every aspect of the shoot, from crowd scenes. Get ready for everyone's new favorite game, scan the crowd for mannequins, to intimate scenes, gargling with mouthwash for a full 60 seconds between every take of it, because you've seen it. That's hilarious. I wonder if they have to do that even if they're dating in real life. Because, like, Betty and Jughead were dating in real life at one point, and people think that Cole Sprouse and Lily Reinhardt are still together. Let me know in the comments what you think. I completely... Well, maybe they're not still together. People think they got back together. I totally ship it. But let me know what you think. Do you think they're back together? Or are they done forever? That said, Aguirre-Sacasta teased the prom scenes have already been shot with an Instagram post on August 18th, and Lily Reinhardt in an interview with Jimmy Fallon that the episode had 3 days left to shoot when they return. So fingers crossed, nothing much has changed except, the world. Here's the official synopsis for the episode. Prom night interrupted. Betty and Jughead's investigation into the altar leads them to a discovery of a secret underground for Red Band screenings. Elsewhere, in order to impress the visiting Naval Academy commandant, Archie agrees to participate in a boxing exhibition against another candidate, K.O. Kelly. Meanwhile, as Cheryl prepares for prom, she stumbles upon a major secret that Tony's been keeping from her. Camila Mendez, Matthew Amick, Marta Tuelos, Stacey Cox, Charles Milton, Vanessa Morgan, and Drew Ray Tanner also star. Riverdale Season 5, Episode 2, Chapter 78, The Preppy Murders. Air date January 27, 2021. Since this episode has already been aired, check out our coverage on it, including a breakdown of the reveal of the author and the season's other villain. The original text follows. Previously titled Follow the Green. This episode is written by... I really don't have to. It's written by all those people. This episode was seemingly focused more on the Riveto mystery. In case you forgot about that, someone has been mailing mysterious videotapes to the citizens of Riverdale. Initially, they were just VHS footage of people's doors, but then things turned way darker and strange. Cartoonish figures of our main cast were recreating murders on camera. Is this the machinations of Charles and Chick? Perhaps Jellybean Jones and some young friends playing at the games they think the older siblings are playing, or something else. I mean, we all know who it is if you've seen the episode. If the pattern in previous seasons hold, we should get our answers here, then deal with the emotional ramifications in the next episode. Though, if the script cover is any indication, we'll still be dealing with some emotional fallout. Though the comic panels on the script are hit and miss, this one was dead on. Veronica and Archie are broken up again, or at least are staying together until after graduation, then calling it quits. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. Game changer. Betty and Jughead's investigation into the auteur takes a twisted turn after receiving a call from Brett. Meanwhile, Archie is forced to make an impossible decision when the person responsible for his father's death needs his help. Elsewhere, Veronica and Hermosa come up with a plan to force Hiram into early retirement, and Cheryl makes a business move. Nathan Amick and Vanessa Morgan also star. I liked Brett. I'm sad that he's dead. I wonder if Joan's dead. I wonder if Donna will ever come back. That'd be interesting. Now the thing is, they technically killed Jonathan. It was very brief, and we actually never heard how he died. But they technically killed Jonathan. They didn't kill anybody else, I don't think. They tried to kill Jughead, but they killed Jonathan. And but I wonder if Donna will ever come back. Now, we know that it was originally stated that Brett was a diplomat's son, but it turns out that Joan was the person with diplomatic immunity. So how did Brett end up at Stonewall? So, Riverdale Season 5, Episode 3, Chapter 79, Graduation, air date February 3rd, 2021, the saddest episode in the history of episodes. Since this episode had already been aired, check out our coverage on it, including an interview with Drew Ray Tanner, and dive into Jughead's lonely ending. The one thing missing from FP's goodbye scene, whether a Josie and the Pussycat reunion is imminent, and how Penelope Blossom should keep walking out of weird things. That's actually cool. I would like to do this, but I'll do this on my own time. The original text follows. The original season 4 finale. It's time for the gang to all graduate from Riverdale High. Initially, this episode was going to end with a time jump to 5 years if everyone has graduated from college or whatever they've been doing in the intervening time. Now we know that time jump is 7 years. Whether that time jump will happen in this episode or the next, we'll have to wait and see. The original title of the episode was Riverdale's Reverie, if that indicates anything to you. Yeah. So apparently, I guess if it was the season 4 finale still, so if like the pandemic never happened, they were going to jump forward 5 years and then 2 years into the next season, or was it just always 5? You know. As is usual for a season finale, though in this case it's been moved to episode 3, the hour is written by Roberto Aguirre Acosta and directed by Gabriel Correa. Given that Riverdale is block shooting and dealing with quarantine COVID regulations, I expect a lot more of one director getting staffed on 2 episodes in a row versus the constant churn of a regular TV season. As for where everyone is going next, when we left off in season 4, Cheryl was attending Highsmith College in Riverdale, presumably with her girlfriend Tony Topaz. Veronica was going to Barnard College in New York City. Betty was going to Yale University in Connecticut. Jughead was most likely getting into and attending the University of Iowa. Reggie Mantle was going to Riverdale Community College, and Archie was headed to the Naval Academy. Kevin Keller, meanwhile, is going to Carnegie Mellon, just like actor Casey Cott did in real life. And then we also know Fangs got accepted into the University of Pittsburgh, which I hope he attended because I think college would be good for Fangs. And now we know that Cheryl turned down Highsmith, but told Tony to go with her. Jughead did get into University of Iowa. Archie was actually going into the Army. And we don't actually know about Reggie. However, Archie has nixed his chances at the Naval Academy, and we now know, thanks to interview with Katie Upper, that Archie will be joining the Army instead. In photos from the episode, you can see him headed out of town on a bus. As for the adult cast, this also seems to be Skeet or Rich's goodbye episode based on 2 of our Instagram posts from the cast and crew, and we'll be getting a phallus kiss, so that's nice. Unless it's a goodbye kiss, in which case, not nice. Here's the official synopsis for the episode from the CW. Stay innocent. With graduation day around the corner, the gang consider the next steps beyond Riverdale High. Archie learns whether he'll be able to graduate with his classmates after he makes a difficult decision about his and Jellybean's future. Lillian Reinhardt, Camilla Mendes, Cole Sprouse, Madeline Peck, Matcham Amick, Mark Consuelo, Casey Cott, Charles Melton, Vanessa Morgan, and Drew Retainer are also star. Riverdale Season 5, Episode 10, Chapter 80, Purgatorio. Air date, February 10th, 2021. This is the first official episode of post-high school Riverdale. With all that entailed, a lot of rumors have been flying around about potential casting and romantic shakeups. And while those mostly remain unofficial, keep reading for the official one. I'll venture there's no reason to do a time jump if everything stays status quo. Whether they may be expecting new cast members, new professions, new relations, and maybe some old sparks. One of those initial rumors that is panning out that Archie will be joining the Army, not the Navy. That seemed to be born out of the script cover teased by Aguirre Acosta. Fun fact, this is the first time since the pilot and second episode of the series that Aguirre Acosta has written 2 episodes of Riverdale in a row, in season. And according to Appa, it's true. Though the script cover comes from Archie 1941, number 5, which found the town grappling with Archie being MIA and presumed dead after fighting in World War II, here we'll get Archie returning to find Riverdale is a ghost town, thanks to Hiram Lodge. In an effort to rejuvenate the town, he'll get the old gang back together. First stop, Riverdale High. Also getting some shakeups. Betty will have joined the FBI, and Jughead will may be an alcoholic and homeless, though it's also probably sure Apple was joking, exaggerating this. Yeah, he's not homeless. You can see he totally lives someplace. Seems fun. Here's a blurb from the schedule the CW released back in May. Season 5 of Riverdale will begin with our characters' final days as students at Riverdale High. From an epic senior prom to a bittersweet graduation, there are a lot of emotional moments and goodbyes yet to come, with some couples breaking up as everyone goes their separate ways to college or elsewhere. Then we will redock with our gang as young adults, all returning to Riverdale to escape their troubled past. And life's end moments will only be more complicated now that they're in their 20s. It's a lot of reading. Okay. Other bits of note about this episode: Drew Retainer, as Banks Fogarty, is officially joining the cast as a main cast member, living with Kevin Keller and Serpentine Tony Topaz. Now, I don't know where they got that, but I ship it. So that means that him and Kevin are most likely together. So here's something I want to say. So Madame Tony's pregnant, and all the things we've seen, it makes it seem like she's no longer with Cheryl. They never go back together. Maybe she's pregnant with Kevin and Fangs' baby. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think that could be true, but I don't know. That'd be pretty cool, because I would hate for Tony to end up with someone, because when she slept with Jughead, she told him that she prefers girls. So she would most likely be with another girl if it was her baby. She'd most likely be with another girl. But that would mean that it was planned and that she's actually with someone new. Or it could have just been one night stand with a dude. So I think it's Fangs and Kevin's baby. But we will find out in Purgatorio. Tony, by the way, seems to be very visibly pregnant and is running her minions to the halls of Riverdale High, picking up where Cheryl left off. She's also, as teased in the season 5 premiere, the new serpent queen of the Southside Serpents. Probably alarming, particularly for those who ship Archie, aka Veronica and Archie. Chris Mason is joining the cast on a recurring basis as Veronica's husband, Ted Gecko. Archie verse fans might recognize the name from Katie Keene, where the Wall Street type was played by Reed Prurbenda. Here, he's described as an alpha dog, threatened by Veronica's life in the video, especially her friendship with Archie. Joining the cast full-time is Aaron Westbrook as Tabitha Tate, Pop Tate's daughter. Pop Tate's granddaughter, I believe, who moves to town hoping to expand Pops into a franchise, though it seems reasonable to think that would bring her into direct conflict with Veronica. Not so, says writer Ted Sullivan. One thing I truly love about the show is that it does not resort to the old trope of women hating other women, usually written by men. That will continue. Tabitha is good people. Be nice to her when she arrives, he said via tweet. We now know that Veronica actually gave Pops back to Pop, so she no longer owns Pops. So, 3 other cast members showing up, though most likely as recurring one-time players: Jamie Jones, Robert Edgar, and Skylar Ratzion. The latter was widely rumored to be playing Jughead's new girlfriend by fans. She is not, and the other 2 do not have confirmed roles at the time. Now, Jughead's confirmed girlfriend has not been confirmed by anyone else other than like fans. People have found it, but they haven't cast her, which I find it really weird for her not to be cast, or maybe they just don't want to tell us who it is, but people think it's Nina Dobrev. But I don't know. Maybe it's also a rumor. Who knows? Maybe someone just is trolling people. Because I don't think Jughead would be the person to date anyone that he's not close with. He was perfect with Betty. So I don't know. Oh, and we don't know if she'll show up in this episode or a sequence of one, but Filipina-Canadian Instagram star AC Bonifacio will be on the show as a river vixen, and at some point will have a heated dance battle with Cheryl. This I'm excited for. We also get a sneak peek at the villain, or one of the villains, who will be threatening the town with Pep post-graduation, a trucker who cruises the lonely highway, complete with skeleton tied to his front grill. That ties in nicely with some promo art previously shared showing a blonde woman running away from an 18-wheeler. Is that woman Polly Cooper? Tiara Skovby, who plays Polly, stayed mom when we recently interviewed her. Though did slip, we'll see the presumably now 9-year-old twins, Juniper and Dagwood, toast time jump. Which I think is what I'm most excited for, is to see Juniper and Dagwood as little kids. Because technically they should be 3-year-olds by the time they all graduate from high school, but they're still played by babies. And we actually haven't seen them yet since season 5, and we haven't seen them since the first couple episodes of season 4. So I'm really excited for Juniper and Dagwood. And the fact that Polly is back, because we haven't seen Polly since season 4? The first couple of season 4? Actually, we haven't seen Polly. No, we saw Polly in season 4, but then we heard her voice once. But other than that, we haven't seen her much. Regardless, time to bone up on your duels. Last thing to discuss is the title of the episode, Purgatorio. That's the title of the second part of Dante's Divine Comedy. The first part is Inferno, the second part Purgatorio, and the third part Paradiso. Though, as usual, Riverdale titles are mostly references to well-known things that, like the script covers, only skirt the plot. There were 2 potential things to glean here. The first is that the Divine Comedy is Dante's journey to the afterlife, and in Purgatorio he reaches Purgatory, the halfway point between heaven and hell, Notch. In the poem, Dante explores what the waves of sin and vice are, something that we adventure Archie will be doing when he encounters Highlands Riverdale. The second is that this is the halfway point. Obviously, nothing is far from certain, but one could certainly speculate that Aguirre Acosta views this as the halfway point in Archie's story, which is Riverdale's story in essence. With the previous 4 seasons forming the Inferno part and whatever is next eventually heading towards Paradiso. Don't know if we can safely say Riverdale is running for 8 seasons, but it's food for thought in terms of a plan, particularly given Graduation did a good job of wrapping up the first 4 seasons. Here's the official synopsis from the CW. 7-year time jump. After spending 7 years away from Riverdale, Archie returns to find the town is now under Hiram Lodge's grip and on the verge of becoming a ghost town. When Tony catches him up on what's been going on, Archie reaches out to the rest of the gang to return home. Lily Reinhardt, Camilla Mendes, Cole Sprouse, Madeline Petch, Casey Cott, Charles Melton, Drew Retainer, and Aaron Westbrook also star. Cool. Riverdale Season 5, Episode 5, Chapter 81, The Homecoming. Air date February 17th, 2021. Thanks to KJ Ops' Instagram stories, I'm a detective. We now know what the title of the Season 5 episode will be. The Homecoming, written by people. I'm not reading all that. So apparently Katie Keene took place 5-ish years after Riverdale. But the script cover features an hourglass in the faces of our main characters, teasing the time jump and the uncertainty of their futures. The title also seemingly either A, captures the phrase popularized by the Batman, or B, refers not just to homecoming at Riverdale High, but coming back to Riverdale as a town, coupled with Purgatorio. It's fair to speculate that our 4-4 might be mostly separated in episode 4, then officially brought back together in episode 5, and a slew of pictures for the first 2 episodes seem to back that up. Now, I think they should have been it should have been a 2-hour episode, but that's just me. Here's the official episode synopsis via the CW, and to those worried, Tony might be shoved to the side after getting featured status in Purgatorio. Her name is literally the first word in the episode description after the teaser text, of course. You love, as they say it. See? The fight for Riverdale High. Tony, Alice, Archie, and Kevin fight to keep Riverdale High's doors open after learning that its budget has been cut by Hiram Lodge. Veronica gets creative when she discovers Chad is having her followed. Jughead starts a new job after debt collectors show up in Riverdale. Lily Reinhardt, Madeline Petch, Charles Milton, Drew Retainer, and Aaron Westbrook also star. Riverdale Season 5, Episode 6, Chapter 82, Back to School. Air date February 24th, 2021. Once again, directed In fact, they're all going to be teachers at the school and seemingly don't recruit Cheryl to their cause until this episode. Not only that, but Chad finally comes to Riverdale, which doesn't sound totally welcome to Veronica. Also of note, some confirmation via the official synopsis that once again Polly is in danger, so we have to wait till episode 6 to see Polly again, but not too long to wait. Probably have to wait longer to see Bughead again. Bulldog Pride. Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead prepare for the first day as Riverdale High's newest teacher. Veronica introduces her husband Chad to the group after he shows up unexpectedly in Riverdale. After realizing they are out of funds, Archie and Tony turn to Cheryl for help restarting football and cheer teams. Finally, Betty, Kevin, and Alice follow lead after learning that Polly may be in trouble. Marcus Willows, Charles Milton, and Drew Retainer are also star. Kind of wish it was Betty, Jughead, and Alice, but maybe Jughead comes to help in the mystery. I really hope. If they don't get Bughead back together, I quit. I probably won't quit, but just for emphasis, I quit. But sounds cool. But apparently we know Archie becomes the football coach, ROTC. Betty, a scene was leaked of someone auditioning for a student, and Betty was the shop teacher. Veronica, I have no idea, and Jughead most likely English, or the blue and gold, most likely English. But maybe Betty and Jughead decide to buy the blue and gold together. That would be interesting. And this just proves that Tony and Cheryl are not together anymore. So Riverdale Season 5, Episode 7, Chapter 83, Fire in the Sky. We've got another Instagram account to thank for and fro on this episode, which is written by Ted Sullivan, Killing Mr. Honeycrisp, Brian Foster, who plays Bernardo on Katie Keene, and Brian Foster, who plays Bernardo on Katie Keene, will be returning to the character in Riverdale Season 5. How and why the hunky firefighter shows up on the series is a mystery for now, but given that Archie may take up firefighting himself post-time jump, it's not too much of a stretch to see how the muscly duo could interact. Yeah, there was a photo of Archie in a firefighter outfit in Betty's house too. So Riverdale season 5, episode 8, chapter 84. At some point in this episode, Archie dons a fireman's suit, sans shirt, and what looks like Betty Cooper's childhood bedroom. Naturally, the Riverdale fan base is extremely calm and measured in their reaction to this information. Now, what people think is that Archie moves in with Betty when he comes back to town. Maybe even Jughead moves in too. That would be interesting. So that might be why he's in her childhood room. Maybe that's because like his house is, he no longer owns his house and everything like that. In another shirtless shenanigans, looks like this episode will be a big one for Kevin Keller, according to Aggressive Acosta. Here's a picture of a buff Casey Cott getting sprayed down in the El Royale steam room. So the El Royale is coming back, but yes, look how buff Casey Cott got his role. So we don't know anything about episode 9. So episode 10, chapter 86. According to writer Ted Sullivan, this episode will probably be what would have been the mid-season finale in a normal season of television, which they probably won't have a mid-season finale. That certainly tracks with the previous season 3 and 4, which took breaks after episodes 9 and 8, respectively. Usually, these shorter breaks are built into the schedule to allow production time to catch up to the breakneck speed of network TV. So even without the holidays in the middle, it makes sense that this season would pause for a bit midway through. He also, for what it's worth, called it a Hello Uva episode. Also of note, there will be 19 episodes total this season, according to Sullivan, the 3 from the previous season plus 16 new ones. So this episode actually was only renewed for 16 episodes. Hopefully, season 6, because it was renewed for season 6, has a lot more episodes. Hopefully the pandemic's over by then. Which, if the first 10 are non-stop and are followed by a short break, places the finale most likely sometime in June or July, or latest July, a little later than usual. And hopefully season 6 premieres in normal time this time, like a normal time, because I mean they had a long break already, so I mean if they stop when filming for this ends, they can continue to film for season 6. Then we have episode 11, episode 12. Again, according to your number one source for all things Riveto, the season 12th episode is Ted Sullivan's favorite of the 14 the staff had written by December 5th, 2021. No one would guess why Sullivan tweeted. It's a break the mold episode. You understand when you see it. It's inspired by 2 of my favorite movies, and no, it's not a Barchi Shoney Bughead episode, but it does a deep dive into the legacy of the show and the motivation for the entire series. Now, also reading all these episodes, there doesn't seem to be a musical episode, which I'm really upset about. Because I love the musical episodes. Maybe this is a musical episode. Meanwhile, I hope, even if they don't do a musical episode, Riverdale is a big music show, like they always have people singing. I hope they keep that. I hope we have Archie sing, or Veronica sing, or someone sing. Meanwhile, back on November 3rd, Sullivan tweeted that we just wrote my favorite episode ever. It illuminates more about Reggie than we've ever seen in 4 seasons. Might be putting 2 and 2 together here and giving 4,000, but it certainly seems like Sullivan is talking about the same episode in the second tweet as the first. Pure speculation, but what if we get an episode that shows what Reggie has been up to in the background? We don't know much about Reggie other than his dad was abusive. And then episode 19, season finale time. We're still pretty far off of this as writing, so anything could happen. But the big question at this point is probably whether Riverdale will return for season 6, which it's already been renewed. So, but that's that. So that is that. This is also going to be a longer video because it was a lot of talking. I'm showing you guys this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!